Welcome back. Let's tab 59. As you can see, me and the trace around are back home after what can only be described as an epic and at times difficult weekend of remembrance for us down in Thanet in Kent. So, what's this video about? Well, hopefully you've seen the three previous videos to this I posted up yesterday. There's one, the start, where we got a great send-off from the Royal British Legion Club in Ramsgate as we set off in the evening for the 26.2 mile night march. And then there was one at the halfway point, which our friends came out and met us at Apple Bay, which was the halfway point of the marathon challenge, if you like. So it's at 13.1 miles. And then the final video was on the Sunday morning when we'd returned from the challenge. We'd managed to quickly change our tops because we were a bit smelly and sweaty. And then we'd taken part in the actual Remembrance Sunday parade in Ramsgate and marched along with other veterans and service personnel, which is fantastic. So that's what happened on there. So what I'd like to do now is just say a couple of quick thank yous. And then after that, I will go into a little bit more detail of how the 26.2 mile march went. In case there's anybody out there that's thinking, I'll have a go at that. I think I might be able to do that. I'll tell you a top tapping tip about it. Anyway, so first of all, a few thank yous. And I'd like to say thank you to my friend Andy Ramsey and his lovely other half, Tracy. They're the couple that turned out in the middle of the night. I think it was 1:45 in the morning. You'll see from the video. They videoed us. They just found us. We were walking along the cliff tops, getting towards the halfway point, Apple Bay. I'd had a phone call from him earlier, and he wanted to know roughly where we were. We told him where we was, and then he'd managed to catch up with us. Brought us a Mars bar. And we had a Mars bar, and you'll see on the video, I brought him onto the camera for a little while. So thank you to Andy and Tracy for that. And they were there all weekend, actually, as well, on the Remembrance Sunday. Another thank you is to the chairman of the Royal British Legion Club in Ramsgate, and that's Clive Richards, for his support. That was really, really grateful. And also Clive and the others managed to give us a lovely presentation, which is this signed print. It's signed by the artist Jacqueline Hurley. It's called The Unknown Warrior. And that was a lovely presentation that we received from the Royal British Legion. Finally, I'd like to say a big thank you, a really big thank you to the secretary of the Ramsgate Club of the Royal British Legion, and that's Richard Morgan and his wife, Stephanie. But Richard, when we first come up with this crazy idea a couple of months ago, and I said to him, what can we do for your club? Is there anything we can do? And Richard mentioned that the Thanet Armed Forces Veterans Hub was an important thing they'd started, and you know that it runs from the other video a couple of times a month, and it was desperate for funds. So we came up with the idea of what we wanted to raise the money for, and then I had the stupid idea maybe of how we were going to try and raise some money. And talking of how much we raised, I believe at making of this video, it was £941. So the real heroes in all of this actually are all you people that donated, because we maybe had the easy bit marching around in a way, but everyone's sticking their hands in pockets, especially this time of year, and what's going on in the current climate. You're the real heroes for donating, so thank you all. I wish I had all your names, I could read them out. I just don't have them because a lot of cash donations, anonymous ones, etc. But you know who you are if you're listening. Thank you. So we decided that's what we were going to do. I said, right, let's do 26.2 miles, which, as you know, is the marathon distance. Obviously, we weren't going to run it, but we wanted to tab it, a night march. Why a night march? Well, we thought if we were to do that through the Saturday evening of Armistice Day, that would take us through the night and bring us back in ready for the Remembrance Sunday to march in the parade. And that was the challenge that we took on, and that's what we did. And Richard Morgan, the secretary down there, fantastic. He done all the organising behind the scenes. All we had to do was walk. And on the Saturday evening, when we arrived at the club at about 8:30, or just before 8:30, all dressed and ready to go with the backpacks, you see it in the video, Richard stopped the music and gave the big announcement of what we're doing to everybody that was there present in the club. And we got a rapturous send-off. It was fantastic. They clapped us out the club, as you'll see in the video. And Richard organised all that and gave a great speech. And we, both of us, very, very thankful for that, Richard. And then obviously we did the march, and then when we got back on the Sunday morning, there's another video there, and then Richard gave a quick brief of what we'd just done, and that was fantastic too. So then, now, how did it go? Well, we set off, as we say, about 20 to 9 in the evening, I believe. Was it, Trace? About 20 to 9. We hadn't trained that desperately hard beforehand because leading up to it, we was planning to do 13.1 as a warm-up one, which we'd done, but that was back in the summer. Then we got COVID, and that sort of screwed our training up for a while. But we did a few warm-up tabs, and off we went on a wing and a prayer, really. We had a flask of coffee, 2 pasties, and Trace. I had 2 pasties. Trace ran a couple of energy biscuits, and we had a bottle of Lucasade each, and that was it. That's all we went with. And I had a DOS bag in the back just in case. We had some torches on because it was very, very dark on part of the walk. And off we went. And we tabbed out of Ramsgate and up on top of the cliffs, the East Cliff, I believe, and along there, through Broadstairs, down into the harbour there, then up a long slope. If anyone knows that area, up towards North Foreland Lighthouse, along the cliff tops there, past the Captain Digby pub, and really hit the Viking Trail round the cliff top, and took us all the way through Botany Bay. Very nice when we got there because Tracy was desperate for the toilet, and although she's a squaddy and she can go anywhere, and she's done it many times, let me tell you, I've witnessed it. We popped in the Botany Bay pub and just said to the lady, look, we're not customers, we're on a tab for charity. Can my wife use your toilet? And she went, oh, you're veterans, my husband's a veteran, blah, blah, blah. She was a veteran herself. So they were very great, and they let us use their facilities. And we tabbed on. We got down to Margate Harbour, which was the 9-mile mark. I believe, 9-mile mark. And we got there really fast, and we felt really good. Trace around had a little blister coming up, I believe, there, and we got a boot off, stuck some blister tape on, had a cup of coffee, and we tabbed on. So we were feeling really good at the 9-mile mark. We were fine. Temperature was still pretty mild considering. We were wrapped up. We tabbed along the harbour, and we got to the halfway point at Epple Bay, and that was 13.1 miles, obviously. And that's where we started to feel a little bit tired, a bit achy. Met up with Andy and his other half, and they gave us a boost to the Mars bar. And then we turned around and had the long tab back, and it was a long tab back through Westgate, into Westbrook, Garlinge, Westbrook, Margate again, and we got back up to Botany Bay because we didn't do a round circuit. We tabbed in a straight line out and basically turned around and come back the same route. So we got back to Botany Bay where we'd used the facilities, and that's where it really hit me at that point, and I was struggling. Luckily, top tabbing tip here, dropped a couple of ibuprofen and some Lucasade, and within half an hour I felt much better. And we pushed on. Blisters started to hurt a little bit. We just couldn't do anything about it. We taped them up as much as possible. Then we got the Broadstairs, so we're getting close to coming back now. It's still not dawn. It's still early. It's not quite dawn yet. And Trace around hit her wall. And I think that's when it really sapped you. And we stopped for a little while, bung some Lucasade down your neck.
Yep.
And you felt better after that, really.
I did, yeah. But I was being driven on by, I wanted to be breakfast.
Getting really hungry at that stage. And little biscuits and bits and pieces of Mars bars help you out, but it's not enough.
To me breakfast.
You do need good meal in you. So that kept us going, and we tabbed on through. Tracy picked up a little bit. And as we were coming into Ramsgate, dawn broke. It was fantastic. And we got down the seafront. We had to make up a little bit of distance because we were short on the app until we got to exactly 26.2, which we managed. And I think we managed that at about 6:45 in the morning. We hit that. And we got to this Witherspoon's place that we knew we could get a breakfast in, but they didn't open till 8 o'clock. And it's now 7:15. So we sat on the edge of the beach with our one sleeping bag wrapped around the two of us trying to keep warm until it opened at 8. And then we had a lovely big breakfast and then tabbed up to the Royal British Legion, sorted ourselves out, squared ourselves away, joined up with the rest of the veterans at the start point, and we marched and had the service, and then we marched back. And yes, we had a few drinks in the Royal British Legion with the lads. So that was it. that was pretty much what happened. And if anyone's going to do it, big meal before you go, plenty of fuel on board, plenty of blister tape, train as much as you can, and if you do have a go at it, good luck. So, till the next one then, Trace Around. What do you reckon? Let's tab.